This is not an officially recognized segment of the review, but right after the last take I just did, Vegeta tumbled off of this table, and this is the pose that he fell. Hello ladies and gentlemen of the internet, it's RJ, and today we'll be taking a look at the Bandai Tamashii Nations SH Figuarts Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Starting with articulation, it's there. Now we have a ball peg for the head as per usual, but if you lift it up too high, he turns into a swan. We got the usual swivel, ball joint for the base of the neck, and then you have these majestic floating arms that don't sit flush with the torso whatsoever. Now, I understand kinda why they did this. It's good for articulation, it just looks very bad. Now, normally you'd be able to alleviate this by lifting the arm up, but it actually makes it worse on this figure, which is pretty spectacular. Bicep swivel, double hinged elbows, ball peg for the wrist, and it works much nicer than it does on the old Vegeta. We have some actual functioning chest articulation, once again not like the original Vegeta. You can get it to move all around, and it looks really good when you're posing it. I would totally recommend this pose. Just sit him down right there, he's ready to go. Pull down hips, which are functional, but I don't really like the look of them that much anymore. Get those nice high kicks going. Double hinge knees, much better ball joint for the boots, and then you got the toe hinge, but he can't really go and do the backwards hinge that all the other figures can for some reason. So moving on to detail, this is probably this figure's weakest aspect. As you can see, the head could deal with about 150% more shading, because as it currently stands, we're sitting at about fucking 0. Nice metallic blue for the hair, which is not the same blue used on the Goku, so extra points for consistency. No mouth line, which is great. I love when the manufacturer can't be fucked to draw a line on my figure's face. But on to the positives, the shading for the undersuit looks very nice. Got a nice glossy finish for the chest armor. Some wrinkling for the gloves. The back is basically the no effort zone. As you can see, there's just kind of some gray paint pooling right here. Very nice glossy finish on the armor, like I just said about 15 seconds ago. Some panel lining on the boots also looks very nice. The gray undersides. Some nice text that I don't even think I can read, and I'm looking directly at it. And then you got the floating arms that I complained about just a few short minutes ago. And by a few short minutes ago, I mean about 1 minute ago. For Vegeta's neck, you can kind of see the detailing for the undersuit, but there's a little bit of skin-colored paint on there, so good on Bandai. What I can't really understand is that they don't have to paint these eyes on, they're just kind of tampographed on. So all they really have to paint on these faces is this right here, and a mouth, and that's too much. They can't do it. Ever. For accessories, we have this pair of flat splayed out hands so Vegeta can live out his dream of becoming a swan man. A pair of much more aggressive splayed out hands for when he's done being a swan. And this pair of much more dynamic splayed out hands, which I guess are cursed because the figure won't stop tipping over. For faces, we have this really bad looking screaming face where there's paint on the sides of his teeth, so he looks like he's bleeding constantly. This very smug face, which once again does not have a painted mouth, very premium. And then finally this very angry face, which actually has the mouth painted on because they didn't really have much of a choice. For packaging, we have this gray box with a nice blue splash of Vegeta on the side. For some reason it's tagged as Dragon Ball Super. On the side, we have this very nice looking picture of a figure we didn't get because this one has paint on the mouth. Back, lots of promotional pictures. Here you can see even they couldn't really save his weird kind of swan neck. As you can see, it looks pretty bad here. And I just kind of slapped the box away. Here you can see they even illustrated themselves that the hair is different on each figure, so good on Bandai for not even trying to lie. The top with some nice Comic Sans, the bottom with the Bluefin sticker. So overall, once all is said and done, this was an excellent figure for its time, and by for its time I mean whichever year the original Super Saiyan Vegeta was released, because there isn't really that much of an improvement in engineering. But seriously, it looks pretty decent if you pose it correctly. The nice metallic blue on the hair looks nice for this figure if you don't have the Goku that's supposed to go with it. If you do, well then your OCD is going to be on fire. Unless you don't have OCD, in which case look at the scary face. Accessory count is respectable, except when one of the faces looks like absolute garbage. Scaling, it's pretty consistent, actually. I can't really complain about that. But the articulation just kills it. Not a single improvement has been made from the first Vegeta figure they made. And actually, it's a little bit worse, if you catch my drift, and I'm pretty sure you do because I'm demonstrating it on screen in case you didn't the first time. Yeah, the arms are pretty much, they ruin this figure. If it weren't for the arms, this would be a much more solid release that I could recommend more easily. If you're a fan of this form, wait for a renewal. I'm sure it'll come. Bandai really likes money.